Happy Memorial Day, everybody. I did some grafts a couple weeks ago from the largest colony that I split, and it ended up being a cloudy day when it was supposed to be sunny. Didn't work out as well as I wanted, so 2 days later I decided to split a bunch of colonies, and then 10 days after I split them I went through and I caged all the queen cells. You see I got this one here, I got a divider in there. Now I know not every queen cell in a colony will produce a queen, but I go ahead, I cage all of them. Yesterday I pulled the cage off this one and got a really nice tiger tail virgin queen. Now right now I'm not worried about the bee space. This is only temporary for a few days. I don't want to kill a bunch of bees. And I was checking these today. These are all the ones that have queen cells. This one here had a queen cell in 2 separate frames, and I really question whether there's anything in this one, because there is no other brood on this frame. So anyway, I caged it. You never know. But in this one here, I have a nice tiger tail queen. See her there? And I will probably let her out of the cage today and let them keep her just in case the other queen cell is no good. The queen I pulled out of this one went into a colony that failed to produce a queen cell yesterday. Oh, and I wanted to point out one thing. You know how everybody's saying that bees are endangered? I've been gardening here for 25 years. And these trees were covered with wild bees, and I saw very few of my honeybees on these cherry trees. So regardless of whether the honeybees are gonna survive or not, there are other bees that will provide food for us if we take care of them. So anyway, I caged the queen cells using these cages and rubber bands, and then I pull out extra queens. But if I think there's no extra queens, that the other queen cells are no good, I'll leave it in the colony. And I stopped using, when it warms up, your syrup that you put in these entrance feeders may be starting to thin out a little bit, and what it does is it drips out onto the ground. Temperatures the last couple days have been in the 90s, and when the sun hits it, it thins it right out. So I went back to these feeders here. These are quail drinkers or chick drinkers. You can find them at your local farm supply store. Half the colonies I have are Italian, the other half are Russian. Something going on there from Foley's Russian bees. I have 12% of his bees left after purchasing a bunch of queens last year. Okay, what I do when I verify there's a virgin queen in the colony, I take a color crayon and I will mark V, and then I mark the date 2 weeks from the day that I verify there's a new virgin queen. That's the date that I can open it. I will not open it any sooner. I will open it on this date or later to verify there's a mated queen. Because what happens is, you can check the first day or two after a queen comes out of a cell, but after that, she can fly and she will take off while you examine the hive. You know what they say, curiosity killed the cat? Well, curiosity kills the queen too. So, once you verify there's a virgin queen in there, don't open it until after 2 weeks. I wait 2 weeks, and then I open it to verify a mated queen. And if there's no queen in there, I will combine them. I will take and combine those colonies right next to the ones that have queens, so therefore the workers don't get lost. They'll go into one hive. There's a few other things I want to point out. A few years ago I thought I could save some time and some money, and I made a bunch of these foundationless frames. Things I saw on the internet, you know. And during the winter, when you're storing these in cold storage, and you're a little bit rough with the deeps, they break off. And during the summer, when it's really, really hot, if you're not paying attention and you don't realize you have a foundationless frame, and you go like this, just a little bit like that, it breaks off. So it isn't really worth the loss of a frame. So for $1.25, if you want to keep it natural, buy the foundation and stick in stainless steel wire and use a battery charger to heat that wire up, and that wax will stick right to it. For the money, it's better to do this. And then I buy my wire from Wire and Cable Specialties, Pennsylvania. Do not buy Chinese crap. This is a 0.02 inch stainless steel. They call it a safety lock wire. Good stuff. All my videos I point out the fact that Foley's Russian bees, on his website, he claims his bees are mite resistant. They're not. I had trouble last year with them dying. And even after I got the mites out, during the winter, see that yellow paint on there? During the winter his bees were dying, the queens were dying, and the bees were dying. I took a colony that was dying, and before they were completely gone, I put them in a container with powdered sugar, and I shook them, and I let them out, and I checked that powdered sugar. There wasn't a single mite in there. So I don't know if it's winter depression or winter blues or whatever, but they were dying during the winter. And this is the issue I have with Jason Foley. He puts the workers loose in the box. I did 2 orders last summer. This first order was smaller and I didn't lose very many queens, but the second order, a month later, 6 of them never made it out of the cage, and the rest of them died within the next 2 weeks. So I had an issue with that, and I used PayPal. I told PayPal about it. I wasn't paying for it because the seller damaged them because of the way that he shipped them. See, it says on here, air vents do not block. If you have loose bees in here and you pack it full of loose bees and there's enough bees in there to cover that screen, you've essentially blocked the air vents. And then on here it says keep at room temperature. Well, room temperature is what, 68, 74 degrees. And I know, I was checking the temperatures in Iowa. That's where Jason Foley lives, and Foley's Russian bees. Temperatures there were in the 90s, and it was in the 80s here in Michigan. So I know they got hot. And that damaged them. And they may not die when you get them 24 hours later, but they will die within the following days. And the other issue I have is, Man Lake makes this box, but they will not ship queens to you because they know their product has flaws. So all you people that are buying queens and paying for dead queens, you're just wasting your money. Oh, and I gotta confess. The first order I paid for. The second order I told PayPal I wasn't paying for it, and I'm not paying for it. So somebody's paying for it. I'm not. And guess what? They have something new this year. I've been watching what's going on with mite treatments. And this Formic Pro, which is an oxalic acid on a pad, says new for 2018. I didn't do any mite treatments in the past because anything that says you got to remove the honey is toxic. If the honey's not good for humans, it shouldn't be good for your bees either. So this is better bee. I buy a lot of stuff from them. And then I also buy from Kelly Beekeeping, but they don't have that yet, that acylic acid pad. You know, everybody's been doing the vaporizing, and everybody's telling me that acylic acid works great, but it takes 10 minutes to do a colony. All the big commercial beekeepers I've talked to, they're not doing any acylic acid because they don't have the time, 10 minutes, when they have like several thousand colonies. Man Lake has it, but I will not buy anything from Man Lake because of that stupid clean box. Man Lake could take their catalog and shove it. There's some good books. If you want to raise your own queens, buy this book here, Queen Rearing Essentials. It's a little more complicated than it needs to be. You can simplify it by splitting colonies, grafting, and putting in grafted queen cups a day after you split it, and making sure that the frames that have brood do not have any young larvae that they can make queen cells on, because they will make queen cells on the frames and not touch that frame with your queen cups. And for all you people that have made fun of me not knowing what a Russian queen looks like, this isn't a good book here, The Backyard Beekeeper. It says here that Russians have a mixed heritage, so they may resemble many different races of bees. So all you idiots that think you know what a Russian bee looks like, you're just a stupid idiot. Now, I don't do comments on my videos anymore because 90% of the comments were stupid. The United States has supposedly the world's greatest educational system, but I've come to the conclusion that the majority of Americans are idiots. You know, you think you live in a democracy. It's not a democracy. This is how it works. You call it crony capitalism, plutocracy, or whatever. You can see that. The rich are the owners. Government are the managers. People are the livestock. So essentially, the government people, they want to get reelected. So the rich gives them money for their reelections. So basically, the government represents the rich. They do not represent the people. All they do is con the people to make the people think that the government is working for the people. Now, if you've been watching the news about Michigan State University and Larry Nassar, he's been touching young women for years, and they've been telling the authorities, but nobody has done anything about it. And now they're paying these girls off. And it wouldn't have happened if the government would be working for the people and not for the rich. You know, Bill Clinton was supposedly a good president, but he screwed us over getting China into the World Trade Organization. Now, right now, obviously you're on YouTube. If you want to look at something on YouTube, watch Death by China. Peter Navarro directed and narrated that, and he also produced it, I think. And there's also 5 episodes of Crouching Tiger. Watch that. And then, everybody knows who Oliver Stone is. He has a DVD of the untold history of the United States. The United States government is not innocent. They're no better than any other government on this planet. No better than Russia, no better than China. They've got us all fooled and thinking that they work for us when they don't. They work for the rich. Now, here's some other stuff you may want to watch. You know who Matt Damon is? There is a documentary movie called Inside Job. It's about Obama hiring all the bankers that caused the collapse in 2008. It is a very good movie. And the other, there's something else on YouTube, We're Not Broke. That was about the Wall Street 99% and the 1% Wall Street movement. That didn't last very long. It lasted 1 year. And then the other, you know who Noam Chomsky is, back from Vietnam. He was very vocal about the Vietnam War. Watch A Requiem for the American Dream. That is very good. And then there's some other things on Google. I haven't actually watched these. Accidental Anarchist. That is a British guy that used to work for the British government. that lost. He didn't like the government anymore because they lied about 9/11. So he's outspoken about that. And then there's something else, that pitchforks are coming. I watch that stuff. And here is about back to bees again. This is a good book here. It talks about all the different treatments for mites. It's natural beekeeping. And like I showed on my other video, everybody knows what this is. This is a queen cup frame. And once at day 10, you take these out. I'm going to do some grafting this summer when the colonies are bigger. You take this off and you put those in here. I got little openings there. And make sure you have some sugar in there just in case the colony doesn't feed that queen. And she'll run around in there and she'll get that sugar and she'll eat it. And then every so often, every day or two, check. And you can open it up, take out that queen cup. And queens, or all bees, will naturally want to go up. So she'll come out eventually. So, well, anyway. And I wanted to point out one last thing. So our government is corrupt. So what do you do about it? Stop feeding it. Stop feeding the rich. Stop feeding the government. Cut down on how much money you spend. See, it's Memorial Weekend. I didn't go anywhere this weekend. I didn't spend any money. Think about every dollar you spend. How much of that goes up to the top? The people on top. It just corrupts the whole system in this country. So stop spending your money on needless things. I got a car that's 20 years old that works just fine. Vanity is expensive, and most of your money goes to the people on top, and it just feeds the corruption in this country. So thank you.